Hello, I'm Guy, and this is Guy Robot.
Hello, welcome to the latest in my blockchain Bonanza videos. I'm doing one cryptocurrency or blockchain video every day for the next month, just to kind of make up for the fact I vanished solidly for a month while working on my crypto startup. If you're interested in that, it's an investment fund with good returns. Check out smartift.com, link in the description below. There's also a link to the GitHub where you can go through all the different source code for it, and I'll be covering that in a future video. But today I'm going to cover something a bit shorter and easier than some of the last few videos, and that's, well, what do I mine and what do I do with cryptocurrencies? And the answer is, over time I've done a lot of things. When Bitcoin first came out, can I kick myself for this? I used to do mining of it, and I earned a few Bitcoins, and they were worth a few pence, and so I just kind of uninstalled it and lost the Bitcoins, and they'd now be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Anyway, I'm one of the many people who has Bitcoins locked away somewhere in the blockchain I can never access. The last time I really tried to do anything with Bitcoin was 2013, where I tried to use some cloud-based hosting to see whether the GPUs on that would be enough for it. And again, it broke even, and I made, at the time, what was a few dollars, but nothing serious. Again, if I'd actually kept that, I'd have quite a bit as well. Moving on though, in 2015 I switched to trying to do cloud-based mining, the idea being that I wrote a bit of code that looked at the current exchange prices for coins. It found that which was the most profitable to mine, and then it hired cloud-based mining automatically from nicehash.com, paid the right amount of money to mine at the profitable point, and then however much it was, I'd have that much money and then I could sell it. The idea being that you could use, the same as you can use cloud servers to power your web servers, you can get cloud miners where someone else has the hardware and you rent it, and that did make some money, but not a huge amount. From that I got quite into vanilla coin, which was one of my favourite coins. It sadly never took off due to infighting within it, as is often the case on these, but I loved the fact that it bought real-time transaction confirmations, it had a UDP network for broadcasting it all on top of kind of the more heavy TCP/IP one that we've got. There were incentive nodes that paid people to hold a lot of money for it, and it was completely written from scratch. It was really nice. But with not being sure how the network was going anymore and needing to have GPU power hammering away at it, I stopped doing much to do with that and eventually cashed out my holdings fairly recently actually. It's now called Vcash. So these days, what do I do? My two biggest things that I mine these days are called Raicoin and Burst. And the reason I have Raicoin and Burst coin are because I have the hardware to do it already. And I'm not convinced with the power budgets we have over here, or hardware costs, whether or not there is a huge amount of money to be made by buying new hardware, or at least not without being willing to wait a while for the return on investment on it. And there's a decided risk, and as an impoverished student at the moment, I definitely can't afford to have the risk. So, what are they? Well, Raicoin is rarely a CPU mined coin. You can't mine it with a graphics card, you can't mine it with an ASIC, which means I can actually do it. Because I don't have much in the way of graphics power, but I have the best part of 100 CPU cores lying around my house. So I have all of them doing my Raicoin. And the other great thing about Raicoin is it's kind of fun because it does sextuplet pairs of, or sextuplet groups of long prime numbers. And until somebody came up with a completely new way to do it a couple of years ago, it actually had a number of world records for the largest sextuplet pairs that had been generated. So, although maybe not that useful in science, maybe someone will find them useful, it's a fun concept that you're actually doing something useful with that resource time. And the energy cost of me having all my computers on with all of my cores running is maybe $20, $30 a month more than having them on and not using all the cores running. And I can make that back easily every single month. In fact, I've been making back £50, £70 a month at current exchange rates on it, while the energy costs maybe £20 a month, if that, on top of the normal energy bill. So for me, it's basically a way to mint free money, although my God, my room is hot in the sun with them all on. We've been at 40 degrees some days. The other one, Burst coin, and this is a proof of capacity coin that I've mentioned in previous videos. The idea being that rather than doing proof of work and heating my room up from all the CPU power or GPU power, you do all of the number generation on disk first, and then you just check it to see whether you've already done it at a later date. Now I have a lot of spare storage. I've built many SANs and storage utilities over the years, and so I've got the best part of probably 80 terabytes here, which isn't huge in terms of mining capacity, but it's enough. Again, From that much spare storage that was sat doing nothing previously, I don't really add any extra energy use in my household, and I'm bringing in, again, maybe an extra £50 to £100 a month from that one. What are the problems with both of those though? Well, the big problems are that they're both small networks and are massively susceptible to denial of service attacks. And in the case of Burstcoin, the network is currently at the point that it's split into a dozen different chains, everyone's arguing over it, and the coin might well have been killed. Really annoying, as that's the first time I've actually bought some hardware to invest in a coin, having recently bought some new disk drives. Well, you live and learn. Anyway, I really like both of those coins, and I hope that another proof of capacity coin can fill Burst's space if Burst does get killed over the next few weeks. If it doesn't, I'm certainly going to carry on because it's fairly easy to make a profit out of if you've got existing disk space. You haven't, the ROI was about 6 months, which isn't bad, particularly considering low energy costs, but a risk if it dies because it's got fairly low utilization. Anyway, just a brief look at the things that I'm particularly interested in when I'm looking at mining currencies. If I had a bunch of GPUs, there are a whole bunch of other ones I'd do. In fact, I probably would have earlier this year bought a bunch of GPUs for Ethereum mining if I had somewhere to put them that wasn't in my house, because they're noisy and hot and high energy. But I didn't, and probably based on some of the lower prices recently, I'm quite glad I did, as there's now a massive sell-off of assets. But you can get yourself a GPU miner for Ethereum for $1,500 for a high hash rate one at the moment on eBay. Do check them out. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to look at smartift.com for the blockchain startup I'm doing at the moment. Also, let me know whether you like this in the comments below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe, and also check me out on Twitter at GuyRobotTV. Thanks.